Hey, what's shaking? I'm Cameron alongside with Ethan and Caden. This is our World Issues podcast. On this podcast, we'll be talking about the PWHL versus the NHL. On this episode, we'll be talking about the points and the salaries. So I'll leave it to Ethan to talk about the points.
All right. So Nikita Kucherov had the most points this season with 144 points in 81 games played. And then if we go down to goals, Austin Matthews with 69 goals in 81 games played. Connor McDavid and Nikita Kucherov both had 100 assists this season. However, McDavid only played 76 games, and Kucherov played 81. Quinn Hughes had the most points as a defenseman with 92 points in 82 games played. And Anthony Stolarz was the best goalie with over 25 games played, with a .925 save percentage and a 2.03 goals against average.
Now we'll talk to Caden about the salaries.
So Nikita Kucherov made $9.5 million last year with the most points in the NHL. Austin Matthews made $13.2 million with the most goals. Connor McDavid with the most assists and the least amount of games played made $12.5 million. Quinn Hughes, the best defenseman of the season, made $7.85 million. And Anthony Stolarz, with the highest save percentage, made $1.1 million.
See, what makes this difference about the NHL and the PWHL, we still have to get to the points, leaders, and salaries in the PWHL, but the NHL has 82 games, and that's way more than the PWHL. And the thing is, the PWHL wouldn't make as much as the NHL because it's the inaugural season. It's the first season ever. Like, if you go way back in 100 plus years when the NHL restarted, they were not the same. The NHL was like probably even worse than the PWHL is today. Salaries were nowhere near as high as they are now. Players were still working at day jobs. Like, even in the 40s when Maurice Richard was in the league, he was still working at a steel factory during the day and then would go play for the Montreal Canadiens at night. So I'll leave it back to Ethan for the PWHL points.
All right. For the PWHL points, Natalie Spooner had the most points with 27 points in 24 games played. Natalie Spooner also had the most goals with 20 goals in 24 games played. And then Alex Carpenter had 15 assists in 24 games played. And then for the most points as a defenseman, it was Ella Shelton with 21 points in 24 games played. And then for the best goals against average, Kirsten Campbell, who had 22 games played. And then for the best save percentage of the season, Corinne Schroeder with a .930 save percentage in 15 games played.
Now, Caden, what are the salaries for the PWHL?
So the maximum for the PWHL is $80,000, which is about what all those players just listed would be making. But the minimum is $35K, so it's in between there.
So the PWHL has obviously a less salary, but if you look at their games played, they significant amount of games played less. They have 24 games in the regular season, which is significantly lower than the 81 played in the NHL. So if we look at the numbers there of Natalie Spooner, who has the most points as 27, she has over a point per game in the PWHL, which is still pretty good in my opinion. But if you look at Nikita Kucherov, he has over a point per game, obviously. I mean, there's definitely a skill level between the PWHL and the NHL because obviously number one is the PWHL, right, has cages. They have to wear cages because even Sarah Nurse said in an interview that they were talking about giving the PWHL visors, but Sarah Nurse said that's not that great of an idea because we as women, their sticks fly too freely in the air and they'll like smack each other, is what Sarah Nurse said herself. So there's obviously a lot of difference. Like the PWHL, no hitting. It's a non-contact league because I don't know why. There's still contact, like they're still hitting. It's actually it's cool, but you know, it's not much. But anyways, that's it for our first episode of PWHL versus NHL.
She know what she wanted and had to go get it without being caught. Kiss that, kiss that.